Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. This is Saturday on this channel where we just talk about things we didn't get to talk about the rest of the week. And today we've got some Superman news that we have to talk about. James Gunn's Superman may be in trouble due to the studio not liking the trailer. Let's find out. Let's jump right into it. Okay, so if you have been following comic book news lately, particularly if you've been following some DC-oriented news about the new Superman movie, you have no doubtedly heard this rumor that the studio is unhappy with James Gunn's Superman trailer and have requested that he keep redoing it to make it better. Now, this rumor is kind of misleading, because this isn't how things work. This is sort of the tool used by some people to poison you against one side or the other. And I, on the other hand, have to begin this video by telling you I am a Zack Snyder fan. I am a James Gunn fan. I have followed James Gunn since his days at Trauma. I have followed Zack Snyder at least as far back as Sucker Punch, which I oftentimes on this channel will say is one of my favorite movies and my all-time favorite Zack Snyder movie, despite the fact that Zack Snyder actually says it's his least favorite he has ever done. I find the movie extremely charming, and I would like to actually talk to Zack Snyder sometime and ponder exactly why he hates this movie so much, because I consider it to be an absolute gem of a movie, although it does run like a music video, but I think that's part of its charm. James Gunn is known for quirky comedy, but he can also do deadly serious stuff, as he has proven once or twice throughout his career. A lot of people forget that the Dawn of the Dead movie that came out, that was directed by Zack Snyder, was in fact written by James Gunn. It was a collaboration between the two of them, and it is a very popular, great movie. So the two of them have collaborated and worked together, and they do work together quite well. In a perfect world, James Gunn and Zack Snyder would team up to continue the DCU however they see fit, having James Gunn maybe run one side and Zack Snyder run the other. But we don't live in that perfect world, so of course things become divisive. And one of the tools of divisiveness is to take half-truths and rumors. And one of the recent rumors that has come out that I do want to clear up, because a lot of fans will believe this as something that is fact. And I want to educate you guys so that you know when you hear this type of things about no matter which film, about which fandom you are a part of, that you know that it is not entirely how things work. So first off, let's ask the question, do writers control what happens in their trailers? So the answer to this is no. Writers do not typically control the trailers for their movies. The trailer is a collaborative process. A team of professionals, including trailer editors, music composers, sound designers, and sometimes voiceover artists, work together to create a trailer. The trailer editors come in to edit the footage of the trailer. They may help to decide which scenes to highlight in the trailer. Now, the next question you have to ask, since James Gunn is writing Superman, we now know as a writer he has no control. But the question is, if as a writer he has no control over this, what about as a director? Because James Gunn is also directing this movie, right? So, does a director control the trailer? No. Movie directors don't typically have much control over trailers for their films. Instead, it's a separate team of trailer editors, sound designers, music composers, and sometimes voiceover actors. You see a pattern here. So the same can be said here. The director has no control, and the writer has no control. So now we have to jump into the next part. James Gunn was asked about this question, and he says, well, gee, that's funny because we are the studio. Now, what he has said there is kind of a bit of movie magic. It's kind of a bit of behind the scenes. It's kind of something that's meant to say, hey, haha, no, it's not true. And we kind of run this area of the studio, which they do. But DC Studios is part of an umbrella that focuses on Warner Brothers Studios. So he doesn't have complete control over that much. He still has a boss. But is it the producers, maybe, that control the narrative of what you see in the trailer? No, the producers do not control movie trailers. Aha! So the producers don't control the movie trailers, the directors don't control the movie trailers, and the writers don't control movie trailers. So is it the studio? Would James Gunn have some sort of control if the studio is running it? And here's the answer. In the context of movies, the control of trailers lays within the film studio's marketing department, who oversees the creation and release of the trailers, often working with a dedicated trailer editing team to craft the final projects. While directors may have some input, they generally don't have full creative control over the trailers. Aha, so the director may suggest some things. Now, don't this kind of go back to our first day? Do directors typically have any control? And more specifically, do writers? So no, they don't. They don't have control over what you're seeing. They can make all the suggestions they want, but ultimately it is up to an individual team to let you know what's good about this movie. That team is going to put together the trailer. The director may be able to okay this in some situations, and the studio is the one that actually has to okay it. So let's play devil's advocate for just a second, and let's say, oh, James Gunn is, in fact, the only one running this part of the studio, and he doesn't have to answer to Warner Brothers. Then James Gunn's already won. His vision is going to be what it is for the trailer, and there's no reason for anybody to ever post anything like that. But in fact, what we do know is that DC Studios is still part of Warner Brothers. Even though it's got its own separate division in Warner Brothers, it is still going to answer to Warner Brothers, very much the way Star Wars, being under LucasArts, ultimately still has to answer to Disney. The way that Marvel, being under a Marvel Studios, still has to answer to Disney. So for all intensive purposes, James Gunn only has the amount of control that he is allowed to have. And the studio, the big wigs at the studio, will ultimately decide if this trailer is worthy. Which brings us to our final part of this thing, is that we already know the trailer exists. The trailer has been done. James Gunn has already stated to the general public he has the trailer. The trailer is on his computer right now. The trailer is on his computer. And if the trailer is on his computer, then this means it is done. It is finished. The studio has approved this. So if the studio's approved it, and the director already gave whatever thoughts he had over it, they were apparently okayed by the studio, then the narrative then falls apart. The narrative becomes the studio likes this trailer. So when you are hearing this in context, when you hear other YouTubers talking about this topic, whether it's Superman, whether it's Star Wars, whether it's Marvel, or any other fandom you are a part of, any movie you are interested in, the studio ultimately controls what you're seeing in the trailer, but not just the studio. They have their own little division of people that are working on this, people that they trust. These are the people that would get in trouble. It wouldn't be James Gunn. It wouldn't be the writer, director, or producer of the film. They have no control at the end of the day. So if this is true, then why is the trailer already done? The trailer already exists on James Gunn's computer because it's already done. It's already been approved. And here's the thing. Does James Gunn have control over when exactly they're going to release this trailer? Well, yes and no, because he runs that part of the studio, so I'm sure he had input. But overall, this becomes part of that promotion team, too. It becomes part of that promotional team. How soon do we think we need to promote this movie? How fast are we going to promote it? How well are we going to promote it? Are the toys going to tell us everything we need to know? Are the movie tie-ins from McDonald's and other places going to tell us everything we want? What is going to be our biggest marketing, and how soon do we need to get it out? So when you hear things like that, now you actually can say, no, this isn't true, because they're saying the director is responsible. Or the studio is saying that this person's responsible and they don't like the trailer. If it was actually true, you would be hearing the studio marketing department would be the ones in the news. But you can't paint that narrative. So we oftentimes blame the director or writer. But again, this trailer is already done. It already exists. So now it's just whether or not they choose to market it this week, next month, or 2 weeks from the time it premieres. The bottom line is the studio has a secret. Their secret is you. Their secret is me. Because as long as we are talking about the movie, as long as we are pondering why this trailer isn't coming out, that film is getting free publicity. And Hollywood lives by the strategy that there's kind of no such thing as bad publicity until the bad publicity costs you money. And as long as we are talking about it and no one's seen anything, it's not cost the studio a dime. So that's where I'm going to leave you guys for today. Just a quick update on this rumor and why it's not entirely the truth. As always, we want to hear from you guys, so make sure you are leaving us that comment in the comment box below. Make sure you share this video with all of your friends. They're going to want to be a part of this crazy conversation. Make sure you hit that like button. It's free. It helps the channel, and we really do appreciate it. And then Miko says we need more subscribers. And look at this face. You don't want to disappoint Miko. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell while you're down there so you don't miss a single video we do. Then, friends, at the end of the day, I know it, you know it, and Miko knows it. Fandom is family.